we're going to review bandsaw safety. As we're getting ready to use the bandsaw, we want to make sure any jewelry that we have is taken off. We want to make sure that we roll up our sleeves and we don't have any long clothing that can get in the way of the cutter or the blade. If you have long hair, it's not good enough to tie it back in your shirt. You actually have to get an elastic band or some other device to keep the hair tied back. So in this case I have an elastic band. So it's well out of the way and it won't fall into the way of cutting. We want to make sure that we have our hearing protection and our eye protection. And we're ready to go. Anytime we come up to the equipment and we're going to make an adjustment, we want to make sure that the power button is off. And in this case, we also want to lock out the equipment. Because this equipment is smaller, the way that we lock this one out is just unplugging it. Okay, so now we want to safely adjust the blade guard so that we can cut and make sure that we're not going to have too much blade exposed. We'll have the piece of wood that we will be cutting. We want to be about 3 millimeters above that stock. So we loosen this, then we lock the knob. If we are going to be cutting a larger piece, same thing, we'll loosen off on the wing nut here. We'll raise to the upper guide and lower till we're about 3 millimeters above our stock to be cut. And same thing, we'll tighten. So this ensures that the amount of blade that's going to be exposed is as little as possible when we're making our cut. Another safety concern to be aware of when we're cutting on the bandsaw is if this blade were to break, the tendency for the blade is to snap off and come out in this direction here. So not only when you make the cuts, you want to be standing to this side of it, but also if you're observing someone else make the cuts on a bandsaw, you never want to stand in this area right here. When we're cutting, we want to have a 5 centimeter safety area around that we want to make sure our hands don't get near. We want to make sure both hands are on either side of the blade and not within that range. Also, we want to make sure we're not in direct line of the blade when we're pushing the stock. So instead of being here, we'd have our hands to the side on both sides of the blade. Also, we have the option of using a push stick. If we're cutting and getting close near the end, we'd have a push stick nearby, and then we can finish our cut with a push stick.